Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am back again because I still have this card to share with you that I made for the current Hello Bluebird color challenge number 4. For this challenge there were 4 colors out there: red, pink, orange and yellow, and I tried to mimic the challenge colors with my distressing. So I took these 4 darkest colors that are, according to me, matching with the challenge. Now I also took a lighter version of it in case I wanted to have 2 colors of the same family to sort of do a gradient. And then I took an A2 sized rectangle and I decided to mask off my edges that have some stitching details. These are basic rectangles, nothing fancy. You can use any A2 sized dies that you have and create your own panel with it. Now I decided to start with the Spiced Marmalade Distress ink, and I thought of using the dried Marigold as well, but as you can see later on, I will use it. However, there will still be spiced marmalade all over my brush, and actually I don't think that there is any dried Marigold in my end result. But in case you were wondering if I would do two-toned or a slight gradient, I would have used these two together. Next, I made sure to mask off this area that I just ink blended, and I masked off a second area. I contemplated which color to use here, and I went for the mustard seed. So for the yellow, orange and yellow, according to me, these two colors go really well together. It's really bright, it is out there, but I love it, and I think red is an easy color to match with it as well. If you don't want to do a graphic design like this, there is always this gradient that you can create, or a sunset or anything like that. A lot of gorgeous entries are already created, and the design team also made some incredible cards. I, however, wanted to make it clean and simple, and just doing these cornered kind of stenciled areas seemed like a good idea. Now, for me, the hardest part about this challenge was to incorporate the pink. As I said, these other 3 colors go really well together, but the pink for me was a challenge. Now, I created this background thinking that my colors would have been on the top of my panel, but there are so many ways to twist and turn this panel. You can truly decide for yourself, depending on the images that you want to use, how you are going to turn this around and what you are going to use on top or on the side. I went for the Carried Away stamp set from Hello Bluebird, which is one that I got from the, well, not the last one, but the release before, and I haven't used it so far. So I thought that these balloons were the perfect way to incorporate these 2 other colors that I still needed to feature for this challenge. But before doing that, I decided to color the critters first. Now, normally for a fox, I would go for E18, E15, E33, E53, E51, E50 if necessary. However, you will see in a few seconds, my E15 was dry as hell. So that was an issue, and I tried to add ink, but I think it's the nib that is gone again. And I must admit that I'm a bit disappointed about it because I already changed the nib quite a few times. I checked the cap. There isn't any damage in it, so there is just no reason, in my opinion, for it to fail on me. But I decided to take this E37 to help me as well. Why, or what was my reasoning behind it? E37 is also quite a bit darker than E33, so it could somehow mimic the E15, but at the same time, if I wouldn't go this dark, but I wanted to go a bit darker than E33, I would have used the E37. I know that it works with the rest of my combination, so I was just hoping that it was going to work with the E18, and it did. So I was really happy about that. I will buy a new one, a new E15, I'm not going to change the nib again. I don't, well, I just think that I haven't bought these nibs, these backup nibs, to change every time the same marker over and over. So therefore, I'm just going to save that up. I will buy a new E15, maybe a Chow, maybe a Sketch. I don't know yet, but I will. So I'm just doing my second layer. Most of the time I need that to get that blend that I want. If you have the perfect blend after one go, that's perfectly fine, better even. If you need 3 or 4 layers, that's also perfectly fine. It's all up to you to decide when you're happy with the blend, and if your paper can handle those layers, you just keep adding. If it cannot handle those layers, then maybe it is time to heat set your paper before continuing with a new layer. Now, I already mentioned this card, I think, in my video on Tuesday, that I had prepped this one. It's my second card that I made at house. I will not keep remembering which card I made in which order in my house, but I was just really happy that after my first one that I took the time to create something for this challenge because I truly love the idea. I love the challenge as well. Color challenges, it might seem a bit difficult, but at the same time, if you see it as a blessing, someone figured out what goes together, it goes really, really a lot smoother than you would think. It just depends on how you look at it, I think. So I wanted to create with it and also just, well, try to be picked randomly, of course, but you never know. If you get randomly picked, you can use that giveaway. Well, it's not a giveaway, but you can use the prize, which is a voucher for the shop to buy your favorite stamps, maybe. So therefore, I think it's worth a try. But about the giveaway, I wanted to share it quite quickly after we get cracking on Christmas, because the entries must be uploaded on Instagram by 11:59 p.m. MST on August 21. Well, 21st of August, which is almost, and I just wanted to maybe inspire you or push you, of course, gently towards creating a card. You never know, maybe there is a stamp set that you haven't used yet or not enough, and you want to take a chance today or tomorrow, just in time for the challenge, then it might be worth it to try this combination. And there are many ways to avoid adding those colors that you are a bit afraid of next to each other. As you will see, the pink will go on the balloon of the dog, and I will make sure that the dog or the balloon at least isn't overlapping with the other colors. It's just a way to avoid it. You don't need to, because I watched some of the design team's cards, their inspiration, and I must admit they are geniuses. The design team is really, really talented from Hello Bluebird. I love all of them. And how they mixed and matched these colors together was just amazing. And there are so many styles by the design teams alone. I truly get inspired every time that I see a card. So if you're unsure about how to use these colors and what I'm creating might not be your style, maybe the design team or one of them has something that is more kind of your style, and you can get inspired by them. I think that's why we share. Of course, create something your own, make it your own, enjoy the process. That's all that matters. So here I have my pink balloon. I don't use this combination often, but I think it kind of works for this bright pink. And I must apologize about the lighting of this video. I'm in the new room, and so I don't know how much daylight is going to interfere with the lights that I'm using on my desk. So sometimes I have this feeling that it's a bit too much light. I'm really sorry about that. I will try to figure that out as soon as possible, and then I can maybe adapt the amount of light coming from outside inwards. I will see about that. I will try to improve. But as always, it's of course getting used to the new location or the new products. It's always the same thing, but I will get used to it and I will adapt where necessary. But in case it is bothering you, I'm really, really sorry. So to adhere my images, I am using some thin foam squares. Always, I just adore these thin foam squares from Scrapbook Adhesives. I'm trying to add as much as possible on the backs of my images. It's not necessary, but I just prefer doing that. I have received some gorgeous Happy Meal from crafters, and these cards are incredible, but due to mailing, some of the critters are bent a bit or creased a bit, and it's such a shame because I know how much work went into that card or those cards, and just by doing this, I'm trying to avoid that. It is not going to completely exclude um, the result by mailing, but I can only try. So after adding my panel onto a card base, I added some glossy accents on top of the balloons, and you didn't see it, but I made sure to hold my card closed by using some more purple tape on the inside. This way the glossy accents can dry without running towards a specific side of that balloon. And that is going to be my card. I have the red, I have pink, I have orange and yellow. I think this kind of works for this color challenge. I hope that you enjoyed this video and maybe that you still can find a tiny bit of time to create your own project to share. Don't forget to use the hashtag share on Instagram before the end of the deadline. I hope that you enjoyed this video and of course that I could inspire you. I wish you all an incredible day and I'll be back soon with some new crafty inspiration. Bye!